What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another day, another episode of The Daily Grind. I'm your host, 30NSG, and on today's show, we're going to be talking about as Nintendo Switch 2 breaks records, game subscription spending hits another all-time high. We'll talk about that. We're going to be talking about PlayStation 5, or I'm sorry, we're going to be talking, PlayStation 5's most wanted Xbox exclusive port may have been delayed. And then we're also going to be talking about Battlefield 6. At 11 o'clock, they're going to be showing the new details or trailer, whatever it is. So I'm sure it'll be really hyped up, show you what Battlefield should be, but it won't be any of that. But we'll see. We'll see. And we have a couple stories on Battlefield 6 as well, as far as Battlefield 6 dev confirms important details about weapon system. And then also Battlefield 6 will release in October for $80, leaks suggest, and there's an open beta coming as well. So we'll talk about all of these on today's show if you guys like what I do. Oh, if we had time, sorry, one more. There's a video after the Battlefield 6 stuff. We'll watch Grounded 2 interview with Obsidian Entertainment. So if you guys like what I do, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. We also have the music that you listen to in the beginning of the show. If you'd like to support us in other ways, you can download or stream it. That helps us out as well. It's on all major platforms. We do live streams, uploads, podcasts. We have multiple channels. We have Nerding with 30. We have 30 and Still Jamming. We have this channel, 30NSG, and then we also have 30 and Still Gaming, which is a gaming channel. So appreciate it very much. Good morning. What's going on? Big Mad Mo, Eclipse, Travis, Jason Marshall. What's going on? Robert Jones, Sarge, Rowick, Kylo, Wonder Rose. Good morning. Sarge says it's not because I'm trying to spam, but YouTube has changed the algorithm. I need that like button and the comment from chat gallery. I would prefer sarcastic comment. So press that thumbs up. Appreciate that, Sarge. Yeah, they did change it. Again, you'll hear a bunch of other YouTubers start talking about how to engage with their content because YouTube has changed the rules yet again. All right. Let's start off with the very first topic here, which is as Nintendo Switch 2 breaks records, game subscription spending hits another all-time high in the U.S., boding well for Xbox Game Pass. Now, if you guys like what I do, we do this Monday through Thursday, like I said. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let's get to the video. So video game subscription spending continues to climb in the U.S. while Nintendo Switch 2 is breaking hardware records per Circana. Video game subscription spending reached a new monthly all-time high in the U.S. in June of 2025. That's according to the ever-insightful Circana executive director, Matt Piscatella, who shared details on video game spending during the month via Blue Sky thread on Wednesday. Piscatella, the Nintendo Switch 2 has sold 1.6 million units, setting a record for the highest launch month sales for video game hardware in the U.S., causing an eye-popping 249% increase in hardware spending year over year. Well, obviously a brand new system coming out compared to last year when nothing new came out at that same time. Of course, you're going to have that eye-popping 249% increase, but whatever, it sounds good in an article. Naturally, the Nintendo Switch 2 is the best-selling console for the month in units and dollar sales. I would hope so. It's the brand new console on the market, not a thing that's been on the market for 5 years, but whatever. Interesting, non-mobile game subscription spending, which includes services like Xbox Game Pass, reached an all-time high for a month again, supplanting that the previous all-time monthly high was just set for May of 2025. So I don't know if you guys are seeing, maybe it's just, you need a couple of data points to start seeing stuff, right? But I've talked about in the past that make the problem, sell the solution. $80 games will drive people more towards subscription services. Now, in May was the highest ever for subscription services, and now in June has beat that record as well. Okay, it says Bandai Namco, FromSoft, Elden Ring, Night Ring stayed at the top of the sales charts, holding the number one place it achieved in May. Meanwhile, PlayStation Kojima Productions' Death Stranding 2 on the Beach took us second place, but did not chart on the top 20 for the year so far. And we saw some numbers yesterday about like 1.2, 1.5 million sold on the PlayStation. So below you'll also see the best-selling games of June 2025 in the year so far. As always, Circana tracks game sales through dollar amounts, not copies sold. Some publishers like Nintendo also do not share digital data, while developers also like Larian don't share any data at all. So this is just on value of money. So obviously if an $80 game sells 500,000 copies, but a $30 game sells 5 million copies, obviously the $80 game is going to be higher on the list. So they're not going by copies sold. They're going by value of money. So June 2025, Circana sales charts were the top 20 best-selling games in the U.S. Elden Ring was number 1. Death Stranding, number 2. Mario Kart World, which I want to know what this actually is. They have an asterisk there. What's the asterisk mean? Okay. So Mario Kart World is up there, and we know that they sold what did they sell? 1.9? 1.6. 1.6 million. Obviously, not everyone bought the game, but I would like to know what that sales numbers is for the launch title for Mario Kart World. Then we have Call of Duty Black Ops 6. We have Stellar Blade, Forza Horizon 5, which we did see that the sales number potentially on PlayStation was 3 million, and then it was an additional like 6 million, 6.5 million on PC. So 9.5 million sold since that's been out in the last 90 days. Then we have MLB The Show 25. Then we have Minecraft. I don't know why this has massive asterisks behind it. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Grand Theft Auto 5 still on the charts. Rune Factor, Guardians Azum, Split Fiction, EA Sports, FC 25, Elden Ring, NBA 2K25, Red Dead Redemption 2 is still on the list, which is amazing. Elder Scrolls 4, Oblivion Remastered's on that list. Star Wars Battlefront 2 is on that list. Cyberpunk 2077, Assassin's Creed Shadows, and WWE 2K25. It says June Zakara sales charts. Here are the best-selling games of the year in the U.S. so far. So the number one best-selling game in the U.S. so far is Monster Hunter Wilds. Then Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remaster. Like, hold up a second. For the entire year so far, from January to now, Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remaster is number 2 on that list. Okay? I want to know what the number from this one to this one, what the difference is between 1 and 2. Assassin's Creed Shadows, we know, only sold 3 million units total. 2.5, 3 million units. Call of Duty Black Ops 6 obviously came out last year, so it made the majority of its sales last year. MLB 25 came out this year. Kingdom Come Deliverance, WWE 2K25, Elden Ring Night Reign, Split Fiction, NBA 2K25, Forza Horizon 5. So we do know Forza Horizon 5 has sold around 10 million, 9.5. So this is at 10 million units. So obviously, these going forward have more, which doesn't make sense because Assassin's Creed Shadows, we know, only sold 3 million units. So I'm a little confused on how this is all put together in a list. But again, they don't show the actual numbers, so it's all just trust me, bro. Okay, Minecraft's on 13, PGA Tour 2K25, Grand Theft Auto 5, Doom, The Dark Ages, EA Sports, FC 25, Red Dead Redemption 2, Madden 25, and Marvel Spider-Man 2. Denotes that no digital sales data on Xbox or Nintendo Switch, and denotes no digital sales data on Nintendo Switch. So that's what those asterisks mean. He says, I'm curious how far subscription spending will climb, and fairly notable that the video game subscription spending reached a new monthly high in the U.S. twice in a row. Obviously, infinite growth isn't possible, but could it happen again? If so, what'll be the big game or games that cause you to grow again? These are the questions in mind at the moment. Looking ahead, July spending could also mostly regulate the continued early story of the Nintendo Switch 2. August, however, brings Helldivers 2 and Xbox Series X/S. I'm very curious to see what we see then. So Xbox Ultimate Game Pass, that's nothing. Okay. All right, so there you go. So 2 months in a row, subscription services go up. I'm going to say that that's going to continue growing. Now, obviously, it will plateau at some point because right now we're in the summer. more people are trying it out. And then the only time subscription services will go up, in my opinion, again, is if that next game comes out that's very intriguing for someone. So maybe a Gears of War, maybe when a Fable comes out, maybe if a surprise game happens to come out third party over on the subscription service, right? So that's the only way that's going to just like shoot up. Otherwise, though, but 2 months in a row, more subscriptions than ever before. They've made more money off of it. So is that, a coincidence? I don't think it is. I think the more games, more prices of video games go up. That is, like I've said this months before, years before what Xbox's plan was. I actually did a video yesterday that I launched talking about what actual Game Pass is doing for Microsoft, what they actually wanted to do, not what it is. And that's just going to get bigger and bigger because they're going to condition us. They're going to move us to that section because your brain's going to go, I don't want to spend $80 when I can spend the same amount of money for 4 games that I would spend all year. I can spend that all year in Game Pass and get a lot more games with people's backlogs, people things. A lot of people that are watching this show right now, we want to own games. We don't want to lose games. We want to constantly own them and pretend we own them. Where the normies, and this is not a slight at the normies, most people that are just kind of cover your ears, close your eyes, and just consume, they don't care. They're like, oh, that looks fun. And they're just going to buy it on the actual thing, or they're going to rent it off of Game Pass, and they'll be content with it because that's what they want you to do, right? More convenience, no clutter, lots of different things there. And Microsoft is happy to take that because it's more data points for them. They understand what's going on. And this is why all the other ones are starting to move towards multi-platform. This is why they're trying to do their live service and stuff. And this is also why they're doing cloud gaming. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments section down below. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think the subscription model can hit another high next month and the month after? Obviously, they would love it to do this. The high salute of that has to continue constantly going up. Let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know in the live chat. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what I do here, check out some of the other videos. Thanks for watching. All right, let me see what you guys are saying here. Let's go on, Water Bear. Water Bear says, I'm definitely interested into where Wings meets until I read it's going to be on mobile as well. Oh, I don't even know. What is the game you guys are talking about? Winded Wings? Is that what it's called? What's going on, Ron? Ron Slusher says it's the Mario Kart version bought outside of the bundle Switch 2. Well, that's true as well because, Ron, that's a full $80, right? Where the bundle's only $50 and that's included. So they can't really – can they just – do they assume? Do they just put $50 because if there's bundles, so if they know 1 million bundles sold, they just put 50 million there? You know what I mean? I don't know. $50 million, obviously, not 50 million copies. Well, I guess, yeah. Eclipse says, yeah, just like what happened to YouTube. You son of a bitch, YouTube. Something happened to YouTube. We got a hiccup. So we'll wait a second. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Massive ingest server hiccup. I don't know what happened. It looks like it's still... No, it says excellent condition now. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. Travis says, difference is Horizon is a good racer. Starfield isn't good at anything. Well, they still sold, if I'm not mistaken, like 6 million units between Xbox and PC. And that's not including the people that played it on Game Pass. So I honestly don't know where the hate comes from that it's not good, right? Warbear says steroids are fun. Robert Jones says, I might be buying my first $80 game, depending on how Battlefield 6 shakes out. Yeah, no, Battlefield wasn't worth it at $60, and it's definitely not going to be worth it at $80, especially since there's 4 studios working on it, and they're rushing the game now to get it out, supposedly, before the end of the year. Because of course they are. Because if they wait until next year, then they're completely done. Because if they wait until February or March and get it out before the end of the fiscal year, and then Grand Theft Auto comes out, I don't care what genre of game you're in, those people are going to go play Grand Theft Auto for the next month and a half, 2 months, because they're not going to be playing Battlefield, right? We'll get into Battlefield after we watch the Battlefield stuff. I got a lot of data points to show. Are they going to get their player base that they say that they're going to get? We'll find out. Roic says the ship and base building was fun in Starfield. I think the side mission stories and stuff are fine. I think a lot of people that didn't play the game obviously talk shit about the game, and this goes with any game. It's not just Starfield. A lot of people that just look at other people's opinions and stuff say things about things that they know nothing about. Starfield, they pretend is like the shittiest game ever created, which is just not true. There's plenty of other games out there. And when you make a game and sell a game, even though Starfield was a made game, it's not a live service game, which I'm kind of disappointed in because I think they could have done a lot more with it. I think it's super gigantic. It didn't need to have 1,000 planets. It needed to have 10 planets, and it would have been a better game in my opinion. And they could have done better with the actual main story campaign because the main story campaign was kind of garbage. Okay, but the side quests were really good. Side quests were really good. And now with mods and stuff, it makes the game a little, better, but it's still the same game. It's just now with, if you like Star Wars, you can make it Star Wars or whatnot. Kylo says it's strange to have a hate boner for Starfield, and people who hate it on it haven't even played it. Sure, it's not the best game, but it's not terrible. Exactly right, Kylo. Exactly right. Sarge says $80 Battlefield. Come on, chat. Get the fuck out of here. Clip says they only bought 2 $70 games, so $80 is never going to happen. Travis says it's a bad game. It's not a bad game. It's not a bad game. A bad game is Gollum. A bad game is King Kong. A bad game is I'm trying to think of another game that came out recently. Not the shittiest game ever, just a mid game. You haven't played it though, Travis. You haven't played it, so you have no say because you didn't play it. You're taking your view on it, and I know someone's going to say, "Well, I don't need to play a game to see it's trash." Fantastic, right? I didn't like Marvel's Midnight Suns because I didn't like the card system, right? But then Fate Walker showed me what the card system was, and then I did play it later, and I went, "Wow, this is actually a pretty good game." Right? But if I didn't play it and said it's just a shitty game, well, then that would be my opinion, but I didn't play the game. Ron Slusher says $100 games will also drive subscription services numbers. Yeah, anything, the $70 game was driving to subscription services, Ron. $80 is going to raise that up. $90, $100. The normal person is not going to pay $100 for a video game. They're going to be like, oh, wait a minute. I can play that game without giving $100. I only have to give $10, $12, $20, whatever tier I'm on. Like it makes perfect sense. Big Mo says Concord. Don't forget Concord. Sorry. Concord. Concord's a bad game. Waterbear says it's a bad game. Source, trust me, bro. Kylo says it's not Mind's Eye. Right. Mind's Eye is game of the year. Game of the year. Ray says the card system killed Midnight Suns. I agree. I think it's a bigger play on why Midnight Suns fail because of the card system and not more of Marvel. There was a lot going on there. One, Marvel's Avengers really hurt Marvel brand at that time. Movies were shit. Game was kind of shitty, right? Guardians of the Galaxies didn't even pan out, and that's actually a really good Marvel game. It was just wrong place, wrong time, and the card system. People were like, I don't want to play that. I don't want to play that. Jason says Starfield always looked really generic to me. Yeah, that's fine, Jason. But for someone that's never played the game to say it's a bad game, it's a shit game, businesses only care about what sells, right? So, perfect example, Hi-Fi Rush was a really good game, but it sucked because it didn't sell, right? So you would look at that, and the corporation would look at that and go, that's a bad game. It didn't sell for us. Starfield, which the public, the people that didn't play the game say it's a bad game, but it sold. We know it sold 6 to 7 million copies and played way more than that. Warbear says, I 100% guarantee that you that I'd wait. I 100% guarantee you that I'd Starfield released on PlayStation 5, the ponies tune in will also change, guaranteed. Yeah, I think it would sell just as much as, Forza Horizon. 2.5, 3 million copies, which I think is what Helldivers is going to do on Xbox. I think it's about 3.5 to 4 million copies. Right? I think it'll be around that 3 to 4 million copy range if it went over there. Eclipse says, just like Kingdom Hearts had a card game, it was bad. Random stuff in the game should not be a thing. I'm sorry. Yeah, the card system, a lot of people just look at it and go, no, I'm good. Travis says, 30, Outer Worlds 2 will destroy Starfield. You know how we know? This is because the Outer Worlds 1 was better than Starfield. In what form are you talking about, Travis? In what form? Are you talking about copies sold? Because you have people playing it? Like, what are we talking about? Or are you just making shit up in your own head? In all forms. So you think, hold on. Let me look this up because you think, let's see here. Outer Worlds 1. Outer Worlds 1 on PC. On PC. Okay, on average, there's only 20,000 all-time peak. 20,000 all-time peak. Okay? And it's saying that it sold 1.58 million copies. Okay? 1.58 million copies. Now, obviously, I have to use this because we don't have any data for anything else, right? So now let's go to Starfield. Okay? 330,000 all-time peak, 4.59 million. Okay? Sold. Between 3 and 4 million copies sold. And we know another 3 million copies sold on Xbox because of early access and people that bought the expansion and stuff. So in what way, shape, or form do you think Outer Worlds 2 is going to sell more than 4 million, 5 million copies just on PC, let alone on all platforms? Because they lowered it to $70? Now, that is something I'll agree with you. Starfield was an overhyped game. 100%. We see that all the time with games. Hell, we're seeing that right now with Superman, and we're seeing that right now with Fantastic Four. Overhyping stuff. Travis says, "Oh, sorry, I thought we were talking about quality. Talking about quality of the game. Seeing sales and quality isn't the same." You're right. So if you were listening to the words I was saying, a public person just saying, a customer saying that this game is shit, and then the sales numbers say otherwise, you don't like Elden Ring. Well, I'm sorry, Elden Ring sold like 30, 40 million copies. You think it's the biggest piece of shit in the world. 40 million people, and the businesses will disagree with you. Water Bear says, Travis, that goalpost is moving, man. Yeah, all the time. Constantly moves. The only good thing about Outer Worlds was the DLC, and the story was trash. Nothing you ever say, Travis, is fact, just by the way. Right? Nothing you say is fact. Because when we actually bring up fact, you move the goalpost. Its quality is everything. That's also Hi-Fi Rush would still have a job. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. What we think is a shit game and what the companies thinks is a shit game are two different things. I hate microtransactions. I think microtransactions are shitty. Guess what's in all the games? Microtransactions. Do you know why? Because the companies are making a shit ton of money off of it. Right? Again, this statement makes no sense to you because you didn't play the game. El Nini says, I'm good with the Oblivion remake. Yeah, they just made a game. They took the game and spruced it up. And that's outselling. That's outselling most things that are new, which is crazy. Roic says, the only thing that was bad about Starfield was the main campaign. But Skyrim's main campaign wasn't that good either. It was a side quest, an explorer. Yeah, and that game is around 15 years later. Ray says, Gravity Rush is the best PlayStation 4 game, in my opinion. Japanese studio closed. And that's the point, though, right, Ray? What we think is good, you see it all the time in movies and television shows, okay? The corporation looks at what they want to look at. They close their eyes. They're like Travis. They close their eyes and ears, and they just say what they want to say, right? A movie comes out, and the reviews are smashing. It's 90%. But then the people see it, and it doesn't sell. That's a flop, right? Then the reviewers say that this movie is shit, but the people go see it, and the movie's successful. And the customer or the corporations look at it and go, that's successful, it's going to get a sequel. Video games, same type of way, right? People hate the game, and then everybody else says, oh, no, it's awesome, and yet it doesn't sell. Dragon Age, Veilguard, Star Wars Outlaws, Concord, okay. Oh, it's an awesome game. And then the people didn't buy it. Guess what? Corporation says, well, that's a failure. Sorry. Then there's people who go, this game's shit. I hate this game. But everyone buys it. It sells 10 million, 15 million copies. Corporation says, well, it's a success. Meanwhile, people are like, it's a shit game. It's a shit game. Obviously, it's not. All right. We got about a half hour before we go into Battlefield talk. Speaking of Starfield, perfect segue. It's like you guys know. So, if you guys like what I do here, we do this Monday through Thursday. We talk about gaming news, have conversations. If you like it, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. Okay? PlayStation 5's most wanted Xbox exclusive port may have been delayed. I want to know who wrote this. This is a PlayStationLifestyle.net. PlayStationLifestyle.net just said that PlayStation 5's most wanted Xbox exclusive port may have been delayed, which is Starfield. Tell me the ponies aren't the minority. Tell me the Xbox aren't the minority. And the rest of the world that actually plays video games just wants to play video games. Okay? So Microsoft has been steadily releasing some of the first-party Xbox games on PlayStation 5 recently, some of which are proven to be profitable for the company's gaming brand. So far, every game they've released on PlayStation is profitable. One of the PlayStation players are eagerly awaiting is Bethesda's spacefaring RPG Starfield. While earlier reports claimed that it would also release this year, that may no longer be in the case. Xbox exclusive Starfield still coming to PlayStation 5, according to an insider. This rumor comes from an insider, Nate the Hate, on X, formerly Twitter. I hate when they say formerly Twitter. Just call it X or just call it Twitter. Stop saying formerly Twitter. Okay. Someone asked if they had heard anything about the PlayStation 5 port about Starfield, and the insider claimed that the port is still happening, but may have been delayed. Okay. Initially, Nate the Hate claimed that Starfield PlayStation 5 release date announcement was to be sometime this year. A specific window for the announcement was unknown, but it was also suggested that the time gap between its unannouncement and release was short. So I want to point that out right there, right? The time gap between announcement and release was short. Now, there's been a lot of talk about people. There's been a lot of people talking about how Starfield has been completely quiet. Bethesda hasn't said anything. People are starting to make videos about it. People are like, oh, Starfield's dead or whatever. And Todd Howard, multiple times on multiple interviews, was asked a question, I think by IGN's, what's his name? McCaffrey. Okay, Brian McCaffrey, is that what his name was? All right, or is? He asked him, he's like, what would you do? Like, what would be the time frame that you would like? And Todd Howard said 2 weeks. He would like to go down to 2 weeks from announcing something and then launching that thing. Okay? So, obviously, I'm not saying this, what he's saying here, the leaker, but he's on record. Todd Howard's on record saying, short window, I would love to do 2 weeks. Corporate might not want to do that, but here it says, it suggests the time gap between announcement and release was short. That could be 2 weeks, could be 2 months, whatever, it's still short. Xbox and Bethesda have yet to reveal Starfield's release on PlayStation 5 formally. Additionally, Nate the Hate suggests that these plans can always change at any point. No shit. Right? So for now, take this information with a grain of salt. We'll update you when it's more about the game of the PlayStation 5 release. Nate the Hate is pretty reliable when it comes to these rumors and leaks, so they're probably truth to the claims. One of the most recent claims that fruition that the Saga of Hellblade 2 release on PlayStation 5 rumors started getting traction in February of this year, and then Ninja Theory game is now slated to release on August 12th and will be on PlayStation 5 Pro Enhanced. Starfield has been rumored for PlayStation 5 now for 2 years, especially after Microsoft began releasing the other first-party titles like Indiana Jones, The Great Circle, Forza Horizon 5. Sony current-gen gaming platform, 1 week involved the game's mod page, sparked those rumors in addition to Nate the Hate's claim. So I said it last year. I said if Starfield does come to PlayStation, it will probably be after the 2-year mark. Well, guess what? The 2-year mark is coming out because Starfield came out, didn't it come out in like September, right? September, October of 2023, and now we're in 2025. So let's do reverse psychology here, right? Because PlayStation and the people the ponies, the minorities, and the Xbots, the minorities of both of these wonderful, great console wars, they talk about how Sony is not doing anything, right? They're not releasing the games. This is going back 5 years. They're not going to never release their games from PlayStation. And then, ta-da, they went on to PC, right? And then they said, well, they're never going to do certain blah, blah, blah. And then they did, because people love using never, and then it happens, okay? So it took 2 years. It was like 24 months. Then it went down to like 21 months. Then it went down to 18 months. Now I think the smallest version is like 14 months, okay? And now they're bringing their games over, which is good for business. I'm not bitching about it. Helldivers is coming over to Xbox, okay, which is about 12, 13. It came out in February, so March, April, May, June, right? July, it comes out. So that would be 18 months after it launched. So now Helldivers 2 is coming over, and Starfield launched almost 24 months ago, okay? So which is almost 2 years. So if it comes over to PlayStation, I said that when it comes to PlayStation, they'll probably announce the second DLC for Starfield, and PlayStation fans will not only get Starfield, but they'll get Starfield plus the first expansion, Shattered Space, plus they'll get the new expansion as well, and they'll probably promote that, saying, hey, not only are we getting this, but you're also getting it on PlayStation, right? Because that would also push the time where people are like excited because they haven't played it before, because the normal people that play video games don't care if it's an Xbox game or a PlayStation game. So when new DLC gets announced and does come out, it'll be a short window, in my opinion. Todd said this on the record multiple times, on multiple interviews, okay? So if they do announce the DLC, I think it'll come out, and then it'll also come out on PlayStation as well. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think Starfield is dead? Do you think Xbox is dead? Right? Do you think PlayStation's dead? I don't know. Fucking all you guys like to say shit like that. When the game comes out, when do you think it's going to come out? Do you think Starfield will be coming out to PlayStation this year? Do you think it got delayed till next year? Do you think they're waiting for the expansion to be announced and then put them all together? Let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the live chat. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Cool Bama guys is exactly right, Mike. The average gamer doesn't pay attention to any of this. It just wants to play games. 100%. Okay. This is what I'm hearing. The ponies want a shitty game. Will it be the best-selling PlayStation game? Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. Whatever says, I love my PlayStation 5, man, but damn, the ponies make us look bad. The minorities of everything make you look bad, right? Right? When the vocal minority is screaming from the hilltops, everyone thinks that's what the fan base is, and it's not. Right? Think about what they did with Marvel. Water, right? What did they do with Marvel? The entire Marvel Star Wars fan base has been around for 40 years is sexist, racist, and misogynistic. That's what they all think we are. Even though every single Marvel movie has basically failed since they started using that terminology. That's a lot of people. The minority's telling us that we're the bad guys, but the majority over here is like, yeah, we're not spending our money. Eclipse says, this is funny. People are still talking about Starfield. That's weird. The game was so bad. Yeah. Imagine a game that's so bad that yet 2 years later, people are still talking about it that they don't want it. It's so strange. It's so strange. Mo says, how's this delay if it was never announced? Can you explain that to me, please? Well, I can explain it to you in the form of the context that we're talking about, which is a leaked rumor. Mo. So that's how we're explaining it to you. The leaked rumor, based on that other games came over to PlayStation, that this game is also coming to PlayStation from the other leaks that were reported. Hence why I said, from leaker, take it with a grain of salt. El Nini says, Todd Howard doesn't make the decisions anymore. No, but they can look at him and say, what do you think, Todd? Do you think we could do this? He was like, I would like to do this. And they go, all right, we'll let you do it. Travis says, nobody on PlayStation wants Starfield better, or better statement, no one I've seen. Well, you don't get out of the house much. So El Nini says, yeah, I don't want it on my platform. El Nini, didn't you play Starfield? Didn't you play Starfield? Aren't you the one that told me to play the main campaign in Starfield? Am I wrong about that? Ray says, Starfield is one of the only 10 single-player games I didn't sleep during the night playing it. There you go. Roic says, I could care less what a platform it's on. I just want a good game. I have all the platforms. I really don't favor one over the other. El Nini says, just give me Elder Scrolls 6. No, you can't get Elder Scrolls 6. That's going to be an Xbox exclusive for 2 years. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true. I think they're going to release a day and date. I do. Waterbear says, reverse psychology at its finest. I don't want it means I want it really bad. Now, I really do think El Nini, I could have sworn El Nini played Starfield and said that the main campaign was terrible. Right? Because I remember I was like, oh, I'm having a good time with Starfield. The side quests are amazing. There you go. I beat it on PC. I love that you just said, oh, God, today, El Nini, you are the dedicated Travis. You're in Travis's boat today. I'm picking you up and putting you on the Travis side, okay? You're literally talking shit. I don't want it on my platform, and yet you played it on PC. Come on, bro. You're just typing shit. You're just typing shit. See, Petbridge Farm remembers. I'm like, El Nini told me he played the game. And he's saying, I don't want it on my platform. What platform is that? You're on PC. That's your platform. And then now PlayStation's your platform. Now you're just typing shit to type it. I'm gonna have a hot take. I don't want it on my platform. Didn't you play it? You played it. Shut up. It's so ridiculous. At least I know Travis didn't play it because he didn't have a friend buy it for him. All right, can we get a story in before the Battlefield trailer starts in 15 minutes? 17 minutes. Travis says if he played it and then of all the people has a right to say it's bad. I didn't say anything about him saying it's bad, Travis. Right? I didn't say anything about El Nini saying it's bad. I'm saying that he said he didn't want it on his platform. And his platforms, is he's playing it on PC. He played the game, which is fine. I have no problem with someone that played the game that can talk and say if they like the game or not like the game. But to say that I don't want it on my platform, but he played it on PC, PC is a platform, and you played it on there. My friend doesn't buy me bad games, so Starfield is safe. Man, how many times did I save you on a bad game, Travis? How many, what was that? Skull and Bones. Oh, my friend wants to buy me. Should I buy it, Mike? Should I buy it? Mike, should I buy the, I said stay away from it. Stay away from it. Oh, Mind's Eye. Should I get it? Stay away from Mind's Eye. What was the other game? There was another game. There was like 2 or 3 other games. I've saved you a fortune and your friend a fortune. I've saved you a year's worth of Game Pass. 3 to 4 games at full price. Minimum. Just this last year. Yeah, right. You can't call a bad game until after 150 hours. Yeah. Waterbear says, the fact that you wasted time to only playing a bad game, but beating the bad game means that the game isn't as bad as you think, unless you beat it to review it and then post said reviews as a reviewer. What's going on, Quintar? El Nini says, this is where I move the goalpost and say PC is not my main platform. How many games do you have on? I want a truthful answer, El Nini. I want a truthful answer. How many games do you have on your Steam library, and how many do you have in your PlayStation? Which one's the greater dance symbol? Is it towards your PlayStation or is it towards your PC? I'll wait.
You're traveling through another dimension. A dimension not only of sight and sound, but of mind. A journey into a wondrous land whose boundaries are that of imagination. Your next stop, the Twilight Zone.
So what is it? Where do you have more games? Do you have more games on PC? Or do you have more games on your PlayStation 5 Pro? Travis says Steam has 5, PlayStation 5 has 500. That's a bullshit statement too, Travis, because Sony took all your games, so you don't have 500 games. Feels Good says the best and only good thing about Starfield was the shipbuilder. I heard the new Elder Scrolls will use a feature as well. Hold on a second. I have to read that again. The best feature was the shipbuilder, and you think Elder Scrolls is going to have a feature as well? A shipbuilder? Or are you talking about just a building mechanic? That'd be fucking weird. Elder Scrolls 6, a big spaceship lands in the building. Be like, wait a minute. This is not... I mean, that'd be a hell of a thread to pull through. That'd be fucking hilarious, wouldn't it? No, I get it. I get it, Goodsman. Like, I just thought it was funny. It's like, yeah, they're gonna have spaceships in there. No, we're talking about the PlayStation 5, El Nini. PlayStation 5. Because Starfield's coming on PlayStation 5, which is your platform. I just want to know if you have more games on your PC or your PlayStation 5. Ray says, my friend, don't buy bad games. PSN and Xbox Live friends are the people you find in Call of Duty, Fortnite, and FIFA. Mo says, man, I just played a video game, Xbox video games, because PlayStation sucks, but video games nonetheless. Clip says, you think that the W, Travis, that you supported a company that stole your games. Okay, buy them again. El Nini's checking. I can't imagine that you have more PlayStation 5 games because how many games? Well, I guess 5 years. If you average, I'm going to say you're above average of buying video games, right? I'm going to say you purchase 6 to 8, maybe 10 games a year, El Nini, right? Oh, for sure. This year feels good, man. Game Pass, people that have Game Pass are eating pretty good with all the games that they've released so far this year. Yeah. Which, let's be honest, there's been games in the past, but the last couple of months have been just an overflood, but it took them like 4 fucking years to get to that point. All right, got about 11 minutes. 11 minutes before the battlefield starts. Yeah, 7 minutes. Premieres in 7 minutes. 10:57 is when it starts. I've been an Xbox since 2005 and Steam since 2010. I still have all my games on both platforms. It's going to take a long time to... It's also a trick question, right? Because if you have a game on PlayStation, you don't own it. If you have a game on Xbox, you don't own it. You have a game on Steam, you own it. Not really, but, you know. Yeah, it's all over the place, Roic. The new Nintendo Game Boy. Can you actually play it? I saw someone put a cartridge in it, but does it actually play? Or is it just like a screen that looks like it? I don't think you can play it. Cool Bama guy says, thanks to several humble bundles and Steam summer sales purchased over years, I have a bloated Steam library that I will never play. It's right. I said at the end of my video yesterday, at the end, I was like, well, go play some of your backlog. You probably have 300 games there. Ray says, I own about 190 Xbox games and 1,500 PC games. Yeah, I think that's most people, unless you're brand new on PC, brand new, which I don't think El Nini is. You're going to have, I would say, a 2-to-1 to 3-to-1 ratio. You have way more than that, okay? But you would have at least a 3-to-1 ratio on PC because it's just more convenient. PlayStation Plus added the original. They actually just added, didn't they just add New World for free on PlayStation? Well, obviously not for free, but didn't they just add New World on PlayStation Plus? That's a good pickup. That's an easy 60 to 100, if not 150 hours of gameplay that you could play with that game. They also added Cyberpunk. Yeah, there you go. So that's another great deal right there. But Travis, they added Cyberpunk, but they didn't add Liberty, right? They didn't add the DLC, right? I would assume that their move is a shit ton of people have, 70 million, 75 million people have a PlayStation. They put Cyberpunk on that platform. Don't put the DLC, and then people that play the game are like, oh, I want to buy the DLC. Waterbear says 30. You're probably not interested in Wu Chang on Game Pass, but it's actually a decent Souls game. I'm not a big Souls guy. It looks like a fun game, but I'm never interested in those Souls games. Ray says, I buy more Xbox digital games since I play anywhere. Yeah, that's a big seller. And that's another thing that they want you to do, right? Again, my video that I talked about yesterday, Xbox is using all of this as a Trojan horse to get into people's houses, get it more convenient. So when a game comes out and they say it's $80, and everyone's like, I don't want to pay $80. Game Pass is like, hey, it's over here. You don't have to pay $80. Oh, and by the way, you can play it anywhere. You can play it on the cloud. You can play it on your phone. You can play it on your computer. LDD says the PlayStation app is not giving me the exact number. The exact number you want, or the exact number? On Steam, I own 108. What's it? What's the app telling you? What's the app telling you, LDD? And obviously, I'm just giving you shit. We're all good. The graphic and snapness of the controls response isn't Elden or Black Myth Wukong, but it's doable. Yeah, I heard on one of the people I saw a review about, they said it's good, but it feels, as you go through the game, it feels not as responsive. Eclipse says, don't play at 30. It's got a hot female protagonist. That means you're a gooner if you play it. I'm going to be, right? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play the game. That's all I'm going to think about. I'm like, oh, man, I can't play the game. It's like that's what everyone thinks you're doing. You're just jerking it. It's like, what are we talking about? Dustin says, I own 3 PlayStation games. That's it. Travis says, I mean, the honest, most gamers are gooners. See, here you go. This is the person taking the minority and making them the majority, which they're not. Travis. The PlayStation app just shows game titles and a number. What's the number? What's the number that it's showing? My son, let me tell you, you got to love your kids, okay? I told him, I said, are you hungry before I started the stream? He's like, no, I'm not hungry yet. I said, all right, well, don't get me at 11 o'clock because there's a video starting at 11 o'clock. He says, okay, I won't do that. Guess what he just did? These sons of bitches. I swear to God. All right. So let me put this up on the screen. Okay. I'm going to walk away. And I'm gonna go feed my kid real fast. And so if it starts, let me make sure. I think it has music. Okay. This should be it. Premiere shortly. Do I need to click on this? It's not 11 o'clock yet. I understand that, but it says it starts. Okay, we're going to keep this like this. I'm going to walk away. It's going to be some silence happening unless they yeah, I'll be back. I'll be right back.
Stand by Camp 3, 2:50 to go. Still no notes from the podium.
Toujours aucune déclaration officielle à ce sujet.
Can I get a light balance, please?
I would say it's go packs written all over.
2:30 to go.
This is Gibraltar.
Gibraltar was the breach. This is the fallout.
We're still hot on stage left.
Which country jumped this time?
Not officially, but the chatter says France.
France.
Yeah, out of NATO 2 days ago. I finally had full PAX contract the next morning.
Christ.
2 minutes to go. Switching to Camp 4.
They're the only ones actually doing anything. Yep, if someone told them that, they already know what he's gonna say. He says containment. You and half the room.
Back to Camp 2.
We still got Spillon left. Can someone kill that?
Yeah.
我真希望今天能有个答案。
别抱太大希望。
Has anyone got responsibility? I mean, somebody must do something. Officially, but Max doesn't sign our work. Do you know about Brooklyn?
Coordinated air to surface.
In broad daylight.
No warning, no message, just smoke.
Jane, do you want to get in front of the camera? We'll do a quick test.
Testing. Georgia, Gibraltar, Brooklyn, Pax.
It's for territory that lets you in your name. And we all hide like it's fine. Same dance, different water.
Did you see the footage?
Yeah.
Signature was clean. Pax ruthlessness.
Yeah. Have you ever seen a strike pattern like that?
Not outside a war zone. It's wild. We spent 50 years building connected defense. Then throw it out for
Switch to Camera 1.
Just business.
the business with jets and mission. What? An attempt?
An attempt. No.
Unconfirmed, but maybe the president.
No wonder he's not on
Camp 3,
stage yet.
confirm clean video and audio.
Now, the doors are locked. Shut up. Here he comes.
My fellow citizens, my fellow. We will prevail.
Did I miss
Ready,
anything?
Mr. President.
My fellow citizens, today represents a dark day in our history. With this monstrous, unprovoked attack, no country is safe from their reach. For all those serving on our behalf, our prayers go with you. For the Pax Armada mercenaries who are watching now, I have a message. It's over.
Let's get to work.
Come, your masters of war. Hear the bells of big guns. Hear the hide behind walls.
30 seconds.
Ain't turn and run farther when the fast bullets fly.
Move fast. Move decisive. Dagger on my 6. Send it.
And I hope that you die. And your death will come soon. I follow your casket by the pale afternoon. I watch while you
Clear the ship now.
and I stand over your grave till I'm sure that you're dead.
Paint the target for the F-61.
It's the campaign.
I watch while you
Burn us off.
and I stand over your grave till I'm sure that you're dead.
That's it? That's it? Let's see what the chat's saying over here. WWWWW. Yeah, that's it. Nice. W. Let's go. I like pie. Mid. Meh. W. We'll see. This is the pulse on the. See what they're saying. Yeah, cool. Oh my god, already pre-ordered. Please be good. Hell yeah. No pre-order. Yeah, there's no pre-order. That was okay. This is the trailer for the single player game, right? So let's watch it again. But I'll go like frame by frame if we can to look at certain things. Okay, because this is just the actual campaign, right? This is just okay. They don't show anything here. They showed this much shit before. They wasted 3 minutes, 2 minutes on this shit. Oh my god. Game engine footage. Okay. Game engine footage, not actual gameplay. Obviously. Okay. So that looks like Brooklyn, right? When does this take place? Okay, so the helicopter going through the building. Again, I know this is the single player campaign and whatnot that's happening. My question is the fully destructible environment they're going to be putting in this game, not just in the campaign, because when you crash your vehicle into a building in Battlefield 2042, you ricochet off of it. When you crash your tank and stuff into the building in Battlefield Bad Company 1 and 2 and Battlefield 3 and 4, like you hit it, it exploded, it went through. If you hit with the helicopter, it would damage it, but you wouldn't be able to fly through the entire building type of thing, right? So I wonder if they're putting that effort in where if I'm flying an actual vehicle I crash, does it destroy the entire building or just destroy that wall it makes impact with? You know what I'm saying? So that was okay. Yeah, it's New York. Yeah, it's still New York. Was this like mercenaries? They're trying to sell this game on the campaign. And don't get me wrong, I love Bad Company's campaign, Bad Company 2's campaign. There's Silver says there's some leaked alpha game footage on Battlefield 6 destruction stuff. Okay, I'll have to look that up. Like the destructibility looks like the old school Battlefield. There's really nothing to see here because this is literally, obviously you're looking at some maps that it will be. Where is this at? Okay. So obviously, is there a way, again, single player campaign that they're showing us? I asked yesterday, is there going to be like Levolution type of stuff inside the game? I wonder if this is going to be a map in multiplayer. I would assume it is. I'm assuming the stuff that you do in the campaign will be maps that you play on. I wonder if you can destroy this, or if this is like a timer where it's like they're about to destroy the dam. If you don't get there in time, that they can shoot it. So let's say you're on the attack team. You're on the attack team. You're trying to blow up the dam, and you have to like protect your thing until the timer runs or get to a certain base to activate to do this. You know what I'm saying? And then the defense is trying to stop you from blowing up the dam type of thing, right? I can see that kind of happening. Yeah, like right here where he crashes through one building into the next, you know what I mean? I wonder if that's a thing that's going to happen in the multiplayer stuff. This obviously, when I saw this, I was like, yeah, this ain't no way. You'll never see this. They try to make it look like you're storming the beach of Normandy. Obviously, we don't know what this is, but it's like Hawaii. I don't know what that is. It definitely looks like it's taking place on the U.S. soil. That's what it looks like. Yeah. They're really showing the fully destructible environment a lot. A lot of buildings falling. A lot of crashing into buildings. Multiplayer, was that next week? Is that next Thursday? What's today? Yeah, it's next Thursday. So next Thursday, they're going to show us the multiplayer reveal. All right. So let's go into... I felt nothing there. I felt nothing there like from one of my ex-girlfriends from high school. I felt nothing. Okay? Absolutely nothing. All right, so let's go to the one of the stories here. Battlefield 6 dev confirms important details about the weapon system. Okay, we talked about the weapon system the other day. They're coming out and talking about how we missed what they were talking about and we're not paying attention. So let's see what they're talking about here. All right, developer working on Battlefield 6 confirmed that players in upcoming open beta tests will be able to play the class-locked and open weapon system, as the next game is beloved Battlefield franchise. It's the first mainline title since 2021's Battlefield 2042. Battlefield 6 is currently in testing, and the release window is expected to be announced soon. Though it also still doesn't have an official release date, Battlefield 6 has already seen some major announcements from EA. The publisher has also then confirmed official Battlefield 6 reveal trailer will debut on July 24th, which we just watched. Okay, confirming that the game's official title and theme. That said, the fair amount of already known about Battlefield 6, thanks to the extensive testing that EA has done alongside the player community via the Battlefield Labs testing program. The reveal may also just be the way they're confirming that they're already rumored. These rumors include news about numbers of changes from that will also be regarded as Battlefield franchise tradition. One more contention changed the Battlefield 6 class system, which eschews the class weapons or locked weapons to encourage freer choice of players regardless of the combat role. However, according to the Twitter post on Battlefield 6, lead producer David, Battlefield Studios, will be giving players the option of playing with the class-locked weapons and the new open weapon system during the game's upcoming open beta test. The choice will come in a form of the official playlist options, with the playlist using closed weapons and the other using open weapons. The open weapon playtest will function as a previously detailed community updates, with the players of any class being allowed to choose any weapon type of that they wish. The closed weapon playtest will also restrict the class signature weapons to players with that class. For example, if the closed weapon playlist, only assault players will be able to pick assault rifles, and only recon players will also able to pick sniper rifles. Battlefield 6 open beta will also let players choose between the class lock and open weapons. Okay. So assault rifles locked to assault class, submachine guns will be locked to engineer class, light machine guns locked to support class, sniper rifles locked to recon class, and designated marksman rifles, shotguns, carbines not locked can be picked up by any class. Yeah, that's the way it used to be. Based on the Serlin's post, the closed weapon system playlist options will restrict signature weapon types to be respective classes, but also will have some weapons universal for any player. The universal weapons include the carbine, shotguns, and DRM. Okay. At first glance, this system appears to be similar to the system used in Battlefield 4, given that Battlefield 4 is one of the best and beloved Battlefield games in the series. Such a choice will also be familiar to two players who skipped out on World War II themed Battlefield 5 and less regarded 2042. That said, EA hasn't yet said that if they commit to rolling back open weapons for Battlefield 6 beyond the open beta, the choice is likely a way for Battlefield Studios to gather player data. No, that's exactly what it is. And see if the community truly prefers. Or how closed weapons might impact the intentions of the game's multiplayer experience. Either way, players would also like to try either system should look forward to the test. So this is what they're doing here. Okay, what they're doing here is, I said this a little bit yesterday. I think it was yesterday or was it Monday? They're trying to put it out there to show us if the data, they're like, all right, well, we put the class system out there and we put the open class system out there and show us what you guys like better. Okay. Well, obviously we're never going to see that data. They can say the data however they want. Okay. So they could say that, oh, more people preferred the open class than the closed class, even though Battlefield, the staple of Battlefield is the closed class, is the certain guns are for certain classes and the open class weapons are for everybody, but not everyone, where I can be an assault guy with a sniper rifle with this person's kit, because that makes it more ridiculous. Okay. We want strategic points. A lot of people, look, I saw this looking at the Battlefield. The first guy right here says, I just want pure Battlefield experience, like the golden days. No flashy skins, no over-the-top weapons, just raw, gritty war. Bring back the chaos, the teamwork, the atmosphere. That's what Battlefield was always about. Okay? And what they're doing here by changing it to 2042, it changes the landscape of what Battlefield is. Battlefield has always been about what that first comment said in their own video. So I'm not a big fan of the open class system because that's not what Battlefield is. Like, for instance, if I went out into an actual battle, I understand that if I'm out of ammo and I see a gun on the ground, I can pick it up, which you could do in this as well. But you have certain people in your squad. You have certain people with your loadout. You go into war, you're not carrying all the weapons on your back. Like, oh, 30's a sniper. This person's support. He's got, you know what I mean? Like, that is what it's about. Battlefield is about that. Take your crew and go into the battlefield as what it is. And you're like, oh, we're dying. There's a tank. Hey, everyone switch over to engineer class. Right? Hey, we need to push in. Everyone be a sniper class. Give our troops a shot. You know what I mean? Like, that's what Battlefield is. It's always been about that. So, we have another story here. Battlefield will release in October for $80. Leaks suggest, and there's an open beta coming too. Okay? So Battlefield 6 is looking for an October release date, an $80 price tag. And according to the noted leaker, who claims the rumors of October 10th, 2025 will release are correct, that Battlefield 6 will release on PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S, X, and both Standard Edition, $79.99, and a special Phantom Edition for $109.99. And the PC release, however, will reportedly be $10 cheaper. With pre-orders expected to go live in the week's time on July 31st, okay, we'll reportedly learn later today there'll be no early access, no matter what edition you buy. Somewhat of the usual industry practice these days, the Standard Edition owners can upgrade to Phantom version at any time for $29.99. An open beta is finally on its way, something confirmed directly by the Battlefield team itself. And post-social media official Battlefield account asked if players preferred open weapons or closed weapons and suggested why not both. Starting on the open beta, players can choose official playtest signature weapons and locked in the class or not. More to come. EA finally ready to fully reveal the Battlefield next game in just a few hours. Officially, the Battlefield 6 is also getting a first trailer later today, which we just watched. Ahead of EA's full Battlefield 6 reveal, a brief teaser for the game's campaign was posted online yesterday, revealing a major conflict set in the near future of Battlefield 6 campaign. We'll see NATO under attack in a base in Georgia. They hit the British territory of Gibraltar and invaded the NATO's Secretary General is assassinated inside the Organization of Brussels headquarters by the organization named Pax Armada. It's also been a long wait for Battlefield 6. It was the first announced way back in 2021, sort of mostly as EA confirming that it's still working on more Battlefield games after Battlefield 2042. Since then, it's also seen early pieces of the concept art and had to confirm that the game would take place in the modern setting. I personally don't like the modern setting. I think you're restrained to certain things. You can't do certain things because in the real world, people get upset. Right? That's why I like going back into the World War II era, because you're just making history, and it happened. You can't deny it, because that's what it was. Right? The Battlefield playtest also proved to be a leak indeed. Developer DICE has also loads of feedback from the very active teasers selected, or testers selected. Unlike Battlefield 2042, lukewarm reception, fans seem pretty pleased with what they've seen so far, and for some time, EA hasn't even tried to take them down. So far, they've seen evidence of the new drag mechanic and the ability to cling onto the vehicles, as well to improve in-game movement, 3D maps, improve destruction, quality life improvements, and start Battle Royale match. So there you go. So here's my big takeaway from Battlefield 6. I'm not excited. I'm not. When I looked at that trailer, I was like, oh, cool, it's a campaign. Next week, we'll watch the multiplayer reveal. I'll look at some of the, maybe not on stream because I don't know if they'll take it down or not, but I'll look at some of the footage, the leaked footage, stuff from the testers. But this is what they're competing against. Okay? This is what they're competing against. Let me bring these up. Obviously, I only have numbers for Steam. Okay? Right now, there's people playing other games. Other games. It could be Fortnite. It could be, hockey, football, whatever. Right? All the players that like games like this will come and play and whatnot. Delta Force right now has 198,000 people playing the game, or all-time peak. 179,000 people playing right now. Okay? In the last 3 months, 6 months, as you can tell, it's picked up. Okay? The entire time it's been out, it's actually getting more players as they grow. Right? Owner's estimation, because that's just concurrent, by the way. Owner's estimation is 11 million. 11 million. Just to put that in perspective, that's 11 million people that would potentially have bought a Battlefield game, which is well off from 100 million. But 10 to 11 million people, almost 12 million people, estimation, have bought or played, I shouldn't say bought, played Delta Force, which is a free-to-play game with microtransactions in it. Okay. On top of that, BattleBit Remaster had 87,000, and there was 7 million people that bought that game. Between 4 and 7 million bought that game. It was a cheaper, lower price game. Then there's Call of Duty. Okay. And look at these numbers, right? 491,000 peak 2.7 years ago. Okay, owner estimation, we're up between 20 and 83 million people that own Call of Duty across the platforms, right? Now, I do think that this is combined with like 6 and 7, if I'm not mistaken, right? So this is from 2023, and this is what it is now. But there's still 38,000 people playing in this. Hell Let Loose. Okay, Hell Let Loose has got 21,000 people 6 months ago, 3,000 people playing now, and they have about 5 million people. 5 million. Now, I want you to look at the difference here, right? Delta Force, which is like a Battlefield, has 11 million free to play. Okay. BattleBit, which was a paid game, okay, but cheaper, I think it was like $30-$40 if I'm not mistaken, has about 7 million people that bought it and played it. Right? Hell Let Loose, another game where about 5 million people played. Again, it was like, I think it was like a $40, $50 game. I don't think it was a full price $60 game type of thing, right? Then I want to go into just looking at other first-person shooter type games. Okay? Even though they're not what Battlefield is. PUBG's got 492,000 players, concurrent players. Okay, peak players was almost 1 million players. Okay, we got Delta Force. We got Apex Legends. You see the concurrent, what's happening here, right? There's a lot of stuff. We go to Battlefield 2042, 107,000 1.8 years ago. 15 million people purchased, okay? 15 million people purchased Battlefield 2042. That's a lot of people that they burned, okay? It's a lot of people they burned because here it is, right? A lot of people bought it at the start, concurrent players, and then it went rock bottom because the game was broke, buggy, and unfinished. They started losing, right? They started losing their goodwill. Then here's where they fixed it, right? Here's where they fixed it. This is when it came out onto Game Pass in like October, November, okay? And then it died off quickly again. Almost, not as low, but it's still there, right? I would think it's higher now because people are excited about Battlefield 6. If you look at the other ones going across the board, Battlefield 5 back in the day, 15 million people. Do you see a concurrent here? 15 million, 15.87, 15.96, right? Here's Battlefield 1, 11.38. Here's Battlefield 4, okay, which we really don't know if it's his estimation, about 4 million. This is the best-selling one ever, by the way, on console and whatnot. Sold like 17 million units, okay? 17 million units, okay? Then we have Battlefield 3. Obviously, we don't know the actual concurrent, what the total player numbers on the estimation there. And I think that's it, right? So what I'm trying to say here, showing you all of this, is that this is the player base. This is the player base. 11 million, 15 million, okay? Now, 11 to 15 million people playing Battlefield 6 would be fantastic, would be huge, okay? Again, Battlefield 2042, right? Is this it? Yeah, no, it's Battlefield 5. Yeah, Battle 2042. 15.87, right? They have a potential of, obviously this is a lot on sale and whatnot, but that's the player base. I'm not talking about sales number. I'm talking about player base. Battlefield has that 11 to 15 million player base, and they could get up to 17 million, maybe 20 million. But look at Call of Duty. Call of Duty is in the 30 to 83 million. I think this is combined with the two things, so that's why it's so high at 83 million. Okay? I don't see in any way, shape, or form Battlefield getting these type of numbers, right? I don't think Battlefield 6 will have... They might have a concurrent like this. But the question is, are these people that are playing Delta Force right now? Are the people that are playing Hell Let Loose right now? Are the people that are playing Call of Duty right now, where they're having fun, they've already dumped in hundreds of dollars in microtransactions. Delta Force, again, is a free-to-play game. You can buy stuff inside the game with microtransaction. This is Battlefield by its definition, right? Are these people going to leave a free-to-play game like Delta Force, which has got a campaign, which has got a multiplayer thing, cross-play, it's now on console, it's on PC. Are these people going to leave Delta Force to go play Battlefield 6 because of the nostalgia berries by spending $80, by spending $109? I don't know. I don't see it happening. I think there's so many games out right now, and because Battlefield did what they did with the last two Battlefields, right? Strike 1 with Battlefield 5, fixed it way after. Strike 2 with Battlefield 2042, okay, fixed it way after. Now Battlefield 6, all hands on deck, right? They're pushing it. They're saying, hey, I think personally, I've said this in the past. I'll try to find the video probably this weekend and show it to you next weekend. I said that it's not going to be done when it comes out. It's going to be broke, buggy, and unfinished. They're going to probably push it out. I think I said it right after Grand Theft Auto got delayed. Okay? I said now that that's gone, they will push it out in October, November. The leak says October. And if they do that, it's not going to be finished. This game will not be complete when it comes out. It'll have very changing factors as far as, do they know the identity of what it is? Right? Will they know, let me go here. Will they know what this game is? I don't think they do. I don't think they will. I don't know if they know what they have. I think they're still chasing, hence why they're testing out the weapons, locked or not locked. Battle Royale, Extraction, all these other different game modes. They're going to kill the player base before the player base even gets there. One, the $80 price tag. I don't think a lot of people are going to buy it when it comes out. I don't think a lot of people are going to buy it when it comes out because they want to know, is the game going to be complete? They just said they might not do a early access to it. They're going to do a beta test for it. When we did the beta test, I was like, it's in bad shape. When we did 2042, when we did Battlefield 5, we were in those tests. I said, this is bad. And they came out, and they were bad. So going forward now, is Battlefield 6 going to be able to come out of the gate and get that 11 million, 15 million? I do think they get 5 to 7 million. Die-hard people, no matter what happens, they will buy that game regardless, play it, and it might be great. It might be great. Or it might be what it was the last 2 editions that came out. Or it might not even feel like Battlefield at all. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. What do you think of Battlefield 6? Are you excited about Battlefield 6? Is this the one that you're jumping back into? Is this another game that you're just going to wait? Or are you already playing one of these other games that I brought up that are like Battlefield? Let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the live chat. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what I do here, check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. All right, let me scroll way back up because you guys, I want to know what you guys think about the actual trailer and stuff here. Let's see. Travis says, you missed everything. They announced that they are ending the franchise and you should play good games. Sarge says, so Black Hawk Down, Top Gun, The Siege. What else can they use for hype? Waterbear says, in order for me to buy it, they need 8 to 15-hour campaign. I hear it's about a 6 to 8-hour campaign. If not, I'll play it on Game Pass or something. Dolphin says, that's it. El Nini says, how is this a W? Sarge says, you can't say mid. You didn't see anything. Yeah, you didn't see nothing. You saw nothing. That's it. Ray says, bug L of the year. Dolphin says, this is an announcement for an announcement. That's right. An announcement for an announcement. Welcome to 2025. Robert Jones says, that's it. Waterbear says, I thought they were announcing something. This is just a goddamn campaign trailer that did nothing to move the needle. They could have literally just posted on Twitter. This is to show you. This is to show you, Waterbear, when they show you stuff like this, okay, to me it means that they don't have much to show you. This is a barometer to see how much interest is being shown. Right? Let me see what the video right now. Okay, 33 minutes ago. This looks bad. This looks bad. 8,100 views. 8,100 views on that video. Is it under videos? Let me see if it's under videos. Yeah, 8,100 views. Hold on a second. Please hold. Please hold. I'm going to... I got to open up in a different browser because I want to see what the dislike-like ratio is. Give me 1 second. So as of right now, 108,000 likes, which makes no sense. 108,000 likes, but it's only been viewed 8,148 views. And it's got 963 dislikes. So how can a video get liked when the viewership is 1/10 of what it is? Only 8,214 views, but 109,000 likes. How's that possible, chat? How do you have more likes than views? They love it. They don't need to watch it. They're like, I love it. I love it. I don't need to see anything. Water Bear says, funny how older game had better destruction than the new one on the current fucking gen platforms. Yeah, it would be interesting to see what happens there. El Nini says, no gameplay. Robert Jones says, cool if you're into campaign, but I give no fucks. Sarge says, I recognize 5 maps from the landmarks. Travis says, come on, 30. You're putting too much thought into this. You know the devs didn't. That is true. That is true, Travis. A lot of big destructive moments in the trailer. Feels like a cinematic destruction. 100%, Silver. 100%. Sarge says, support just hit an MFer with a sledgehammer. Is that a weapon in the game? A sledgehammer? It'll probably be one of those achievements that you have to get. Titan says, I hope they ain't rushing to release it this year. 100% I think they are. Because they would be dead in the water if they released it next year in the early part. Because they have to release it in the fiscal year. There's already been talks, right? It's already been talks. 4 studios, 4 years they've been working on this thing. They got to get it out before 2026 March. And if they do it after that, they're screwed. Because when Grand Theft Auto 5, Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, no one's going to be playing this game or that game or any other game. They're only going to be playing GTA 6. It's going to take over the entire internet. Silver says, I prefer class-locked weapons 100%, because that's what Battlefield is. Roic says, just put the option there, but knowing EA, the open classes will be microtransactions. I think they're doing it to show us, to make it look like they're listening, but then there's gonna be a letter. There's gonna be some sort of Twitter post that says, we heard your feedback, and by overwhelming, the open class outdid the closed class, right? But what they don't understand is the people that like that open class, okay, will not be playing their game long term, because they will fly by night, go on to something else, instead of taking the core audience that likes Battlefield because of the closed weapons, and they will screw them over. That's what's going to happen. That's my thought process. That's my future fortune teller right there. Ron Slusher says, imagine Nicki Minaj in Battlefield 6. Can't wait. Sarge says $80. Yes. That's going to hurt them. Ron Slusher says Battlefield 7 should take place during the Stone Age. Imagine fighting dinosaurs. Oh, Jesus. Delta Force is not a AAA game. No, you're right. It's not a AAA game. And it's free to play. And it's what Battlefield actually should be. Not free to play. Just they get what Battlefield is. I saw the gameplay leaks of Battlefield 3 gameplay remake, Vision. Someone's remaking Battlefield 3. Water Bear says, I'm more excited to get a tooth extracted than I'm excited for this version of Battlefield. I mean, I literally got a tooth extracted, and I can agree. Yeah, about 3 weeks ago. I agree. Robert Jones says, when is Delta Force coming? August? I'm not sure when Delta Force comes out on console. Let me see. They did announce it, right? August 19th. So 1 month before, less than a month. 2 weeks? Because I'm sorry. We don't know if the actual release date is October for Battlefield 6. If Battlefield 6's release date is October, 1 month, potentially 2 weeks before Battlefield comes out. Battlefield 6 will be for Battlefield 3 gamers. Sure, but what I showed you with all the other numbers of people playing Battlefield type games, they have to pull them away from those games to come into this game. And if Battlefield is not Battlefield, and these other Battlefield games are more Battlefield than Battlefield, why would they leave to go play the non-Battlefield Battlefield game? Travis doesn't even play Delta Force. I can. There's no way, Travis, you playing Delta Force. Delta Force will be dead before 2026 ends. That might be, but if it comes out and there's people playing that game instead of Battlefield, it's going to hurt Battlefield. Battlefield's numbers have never been higher than 17 million copies sold, which is Battlefield 4, right? Or no, was it Battlefield 3? Battlefield 3 was 17 and then it was 14, or was it 14 and 17? I think it was 14 and 17. I think Battlefield 3 was the biggest, which was 17 and then it was 14, right? Bad Company 2 had like 11 million people play it. Then it jumped to I think 17 and then it dropped down to 14. So I think Battlefield 3 was the biggest selling of all time. Sarge says, give it time. Just came out. People are working. I mean, you're saying that no one knows Delta Force, but there's 11 million people that downloaded and played it, which is around the same amount of people that bought and played Battlefield games back in the past. That's just on Steam. Argus says, go play COD so someone can come up behind you and do a finisher on you. We're also Beavis and Butthead. Yeah, I think Call of Duty has completely lost their identity. When you run around, you're seeing Nicki Minaj, Beavis and Butthead, Seth Rogen, all that stuff. I haven't played it in 14 years, and I'm not coming back to that. This would be the first Battlefield that I don't play. Right? I got to see more. I got to see the multiplayer. I got to see what the game is. I'm going to look at some footage that you guys said that there's leaked footage of the gameplay. Robert Jones says, I hope it's good. I want Battlefield to come back. Same. It's my favorite franchise. What's going on, Aku? Eclipse says, did you look at the finals when you were showing players base, the players base of the game, but also have some of the people that were competing with? Did you look at the finals when you were showing player base? Oh, I didn't. Let me look at the finals, because those are ex-Battlefield guys, right? Final Steam charts, 16 million. Yeah, 16 million. Between 10 and 16 million people played it at some point. Again, right? That's the player base that likes that type of stuff, right? And a lot of people went over there because they like the ex-developers going over there and making that game. Argus says, Mike, you literally getting to the root canal and crown over getting a tooth pulled in like a week. Glad I could save my damn tooth. Might not be lucky in my 40s. I had to pull it because I had a tooth that was decayed on the inside. They didn't even know. I was just getting pain. When they did the X-ray, they're like, "Yeah, you have a cavity within the tooth." They said they would have never known by just looking at my tooth. And they said one day I would have been eating, and then all of a sudden it would have just shattered. So. Let me see here. Scrolling. I think I caught up. All right. And a player count is almost 200,000. How long has that been out? Almost 2 years, I believe. If you're talking about the finals. But their all-time peak was 200,000. Right now it's like 15,000. Are you talking about a different game? Let's see here. Quintar says that there is a game called Call of Duty. Just kidding. Yeah, we looked at Call of Duty. Yeah, we looked at the numbers of Call of Duty. A lot of people that play Call of Duty don't play Battlefield. A lot of people that play Battlefield dabble. Some Call of Duty players come over, but they don't like it because there's no kill streaks. There's no other things like that. My biggest fear for Battlefield is the Battle Royale that they're putting in it. Putting a Battle Royale in Battlefield is going to take away from what Battlefield is. Unless they're doing like 50 versus 50. But why would it be a Battle Royale? Just make it a real thing. If they're making a Battle Royale, then you're doing solos, duos, trios, and quads, maybe 5, okay? But your team's going around, and that's not a Battlefield anymore. That's not what Battlefield is. Massive open world, open map, I should say, battles. Oh, you're talking about Delta Force. Yeah, Delta Force. Here, I'll bring up Delta Force. Delta Force right now. Delta Force has got 198,000, right? It's been out since January, right? January or December of last year, right? The end of December or beginning of December, sorry. Okay, and it's just risen in numbers the entire time it's been here, okay? 198,000 all-time peak, 179,000 people playing right now. And then overall, 11 million, between 9 and 11 million people have played it, downloaded it, or whatever. So, I'm telling you, I played it. And I was like, man, this makes me want to play Battlefield. But then I go back to Battlefield and I'm like, this doesn't feel like Battlefield. Oh, Delta Force with Chuck Norris back in the day. That was a fun movie. Battlefield 5 is not crossplay, but the newer one, Battlefield 2042, is crossplay. I had fun with Battlefield 2042, but obviously I didn't buy it. We played the beta, and then we had the early access. We played an hour and a half of the early access. It was so choppy and buggy. I put it down, never touched the game again until it came out on Game Pass, and then we played it on Game Pass. And I enjoyed my time, but that's 18 months later, right? 18 months later, they finally fixed the game because they had to go back and literally create all the maps again with cover and all the obstacles that they had to put in the game. And then they decided to just start working on the next game. Now they have 4 studios working on the game. One's working on the campaign. One's working on Battle Royale. One's working on the actual multiplayer stuff, like the traditional stuff. And then one's working on something else. A lot of the people that are making Battlefield have never made a Battlefield game before. There's a lot going on behind the scenes that just showing us Battlefield and go, oh, the explosions and stuff like that. The multiplayer next week when they show on 31st, I'll be interested to see what that gameplay footage looks like. I remember one of my buddies bought the because Dustin saying he's gonna buy the Ultimate Edition. I told him don't buy the Ultimate Edition. It was like a 120. I think it was like $125. He was so excited. He was making he was gonna make a channel to talk about just Battlefield and stuff like that, and it completely just rug pulled out from underneath him. He was so upset. I don't know if he's gonna buy this one. Maybe he will. Probably will. All right, I got a video that we could watch about Grounded 2. How long is this? 24 minutes. All right. So Paris Lilly is interviewing the Grounded guys about Grounded 2. Grounded 2 comes out next week. I like Grounded 1. Let's see what it's about.
And I have a couple gentlemen from Obsidian to talk about the game. So can you please introduce yourself?
The Battle Royale is
I'm
supposed
Chris
to be free.
Parker. I'm the game director on Grounded 2.
And I'm Marcus Morgan. I'm the executive producer on Grounded 2.
Thank you both for taking a few minutes to talk.
I'm going to try to make it a little louder.
Before
It's
we
bad
get into
audio.
Grounded 2, I want to get your opinion, I guess, or thoughts. We didn't know anything about this game until the Xbox showcase. So what was that like for you?
We played that last night. Feels good. I didn't hate it. Obviously, I'm very confused by the game because we never played it before. We didn't go through a tutorial. We just kind of trying to figure stuff out ourselves. So we're still in that like first area where you start. But I kind of like it. Like we went through a portal last night. I was like, what the hell is this? It feels like Half-Life 2 meets Grounded. Do you know what I mean? I think I'm gonna like Grounded 2 much better than Biotic Factor.
For you being able, you're working on this game, and then a few weeks before it's actually coming out to the world, you finally get to announce it.
So the crazy thing about that was we didn't actually think we could actually keep that under wraps until we got there. And in fact, the day of showcase, we were just sitting in our room going, I can't believe we made it.
Right.
I can't believe we made it, and the game has not leaked yet. Like, this is crazy. But super, super exciting for us. It was something that actually Marcus and I talked about months and months and months ago, and we were just like, how do we want to announce this game? And we were like, man, if we could just announce it, showcase, and then just drop it like 6 weeks, 8 weeks later, that would be amazing. And somehow we pulled that off.
Yeah, I would. The surprise and delight and deliver, honestly, has been in our heads for like maybe even longer, like maybe a year.
Why do we have in 2025? I understand we don't have microphones and stuff like that, and he's doing his own thing. Probably Paris is probably doing his own thing. But we're at a convention. Like, can we get something a little bit better? Maybe a quieter room or something. It's really hard to hear.
Like of time of trying to do that, and part of that just comes
You hear
from
all
the joy of
the noise background.
Yeah. When I would watch E3, the best part wasn't what you knew; it was the surprise that showed up, right? And I think that we wanted to bring that magical experience.
I think they did that with Grounded 2. I was surprised when they showed it.
It's so hard now with the internet, and all y'all do a good job of figuring out what the heck's going on all the time. But there is some magic to that surprise, and I think that we were I was so happy that we pulled it off, and I hope to people, not only Grounded fans, but just other folks who just caught from complete left field that magical feeling of like, oh, there was a surprise and we had no clue that was happening. And by the way, what's wrong with Obsidian? Why are they shipping 3 games this year? That was it just makes for a special time and a special moment, and I'm really, really happy because those moments I think are special to all of us.
My question is, why is Obsidian shipping 3 games this year? Is there like nobody else working on games in all the Xbox studios? Right? Obsidian, one company is making 3 games in a 12-month cycle.
Playing games and going to those showcases and seeing those things.
So I can tell you from personal experience, I was at a community watch party for the showcase, and we're sitting there watching it, and the crowd just erupted when it was Grounded 2 and, oh no, it's coming now. It was like, wait, what? Like, everyone just roared and cheered about it, super excited for the game to come out. Now, I'm a fan of Grounded. I've played, obviously, Grounded 1 through the...
I like Grounded because it literally is Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, right? Like, if they made this game Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, they couldn't have done it any better. That's exactly what it is.
Entire game preview to 1.0, and I've had a chance to play Grounded 2 before this event. I have to say, playing it solo is brutal. I'm playing on medium difficulty, and it has been but a good brutal.
Okay.
Like, this is like the ultimate survival.
Yeah, it does get brutal. If you don't have the right gear and you're going up against the wrong thing, you get your ass kicked real fast, even in Grounded 1.
Survival game. And that's what I love about what you've been able to create with first Grounded, and now obviously here bringing this to Grounded 2. But before I get into actual game details about it, I'm curious, what was the thought process that, hey, you already created this great world of Grounded 1. Why move to Grounded 2?
Yeah, so, I think a lot of people look at Grounded and they saw, when 1.0 came out, and it was like, at that point in time, you had tens of millions of people play, and it seemed like this game that had gotten all these updates, and it almost felt more like a live game that's like out in the world. But our major touchstones on Grounded 1 were games like Subnautica, The Forest, these games that kind of did have a beginning and middle and end, and that was always like kind of in the back of our minds of, if this is successful, that's what we'd want to do is continue to make sequels, to continue to tell more stories.
My question, and maybe Paris asked this question to them, why not continue Grounded instead of going to Grounded 2, right? Because the only thing I'm worried about with Grounded 2 is that it comes out in early access, right? So we had Grounded 1. It was in early access for, I think, 2 years, 3 years, and then it came out, and then they kind of still supported it, obviously. But all the feedback they got from Grounded 1, fixing Grounded 1 to make it great, now they're Grounded 2. They scaled some stuff back. I talked about this a couple of weeks, months ago, whatever, okay? Like the zip lines and stuff they took out. They're going to put it back in later. But now it's coming out in beta again, or early preview program, whatever it is. And are we going to have the same process instead of having a finished game? Because my problem with Grounded 1 is I played a crap ton of it, but there was no story when we first played it, right? There was no story. They put the story in after the fact, but I was already done playing. I played hundreds of hours of Grounded before the story came in. So are I going to do the exact same thing again for Grounded 2? And I got to wait, even though it comes out next week, I got to wait 2 years before the story's complete? That's my problem.
But, the other thing was, we launched Grounded 1, we started the journey of Grounded 1 5 years ago.
Yeah.
On the Xbox One.
Yeah.
On older technology, older hardware, and some of those things were holding, like, we wanted to push much further, and there were more tools for us to be able to take advantage of as we got into the future. And so to do things like buggies, to have a more expansive park, just to add more features, if we would have had to do that on old platforms, like,
that answered the question for me right there. The reason they did 2 is because the old technology of 1 that it was on.
We would
Makes
have to
sense.
do things like hard loading, which just takes you out of the immersion. So all of those things of the features and the story and the content really motivated us and wanted us to make a Grounded 2. And
Craig says, let's be real. They're looking at Helldivers and think they can pull off the same thing. Who? For Grounded? What are we talking about? We're watching a Grounded video.
honestly, like, the seeds of it, while it didn't come into fruition till a couple of years ago of us actually working against making a Grounded 2, the seeds of it were there, and the spirit of there and the hope of it was there from day one. You always hope you can keep making more. So that would be kind of my big thing. And
I'm sorry. Did you say Hulk Hogan just passed? What? Fuck. Remember what I said in Discord the other day? I said, who's the third? Oh, my God, dude. It sucks. Sorry. Let's continue.
I just will say one more thing just about what you said earlier. I think it warms our heart to hear you say it was brutal, but it was fun, because trying to strike that balance is always really, really tough.
Yeah.
Because with Grounded, we want it to be accessible, but we want people who are, survival games are hardcore. Like, they're a more core experience. And so finding that balance, like, I'm happy to hear you say that. You said it with a smile, so I hope that, that was legit. But, like, I'm happy to hear you say that, because that's a good balance. I'm sorry, Chris, I'm hogging the mic. It's harder without the...
You can hog the mic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well...
No, it's good. I don't want to take all your time by saying...
You can hog the mic, but I'm going to speak now without the mic.
Everything you just said. I think you answered it really well, Mark.
Who were the first two? Ozzy Osbourne and Malcolm, I forget the guy's last name, from Bill Cosby, the actor. He passed at 57. Ozzy Osbourne died, I think, a couple hours after that. And then Hulk Hogan died today.
I'll pass it proactively.
Let's move on to this
Yeah, that's it. Malcolm Jamal. Yep.
point. So you partnered with Eidos. I always say their name wrong, but Eidos Montreal. So how did that partnership come about?
Yeah, so when we were trying to figure out like how to move the Grounded franchise forward, like one of the things that we thought was like, because Grounded 1 was made by this like small, very like intimate team, and we knew if we're gonna do bigger and we're gonna do more with the sequel, we needed to expand that team. You know, we thought the best way to do that would be to find a really high quality like AAA class partner that we could like basically become like
The mic needs to be up to your mouth, man.
teammates with and build out this world of Grounded 2. And so
Did you see the guy's face? I'm gonna rewind just a second. Watch. I don't know this gentleman's name. His coworker, right? Watch his face real fast. Okay, I'm gonna back up. Watch his face. He looks down at the mic because he's not using the mic, and then watch.
and build
Watch.
out this world of Grounded 2. And so
Right there, he looks down, sees that he's not using the mic.
I don't know exactly how it happened. Marcus probably knows that more. He's more the biz dev guy than me. But like we wound up talking with Eidos Montreal about it, and you know what? Like their ideas and their
Chris, put the mic up to your face, man.
thoughts and everything that they thought that they might want to do in something like a Grounded 2 just like fit really, really well with us. And we were like, man, this just feels like a good fit, a natural fit. And they were super.
If I was the camera operator, I would stop and run up to him and be like, can you please just hold this up to your face?
Super excited about it too. Like not just a natural fit because like they're very story oriented and they understand character progression, you know, and they make games that
Put it on his chest.
are like very similar to our role playing games, but aren't exactly the same, and always very high quality. But like they were just super geeked about Grounded. Like they loved that game too, and we're like, okay, this just makes sense. And so that's how that relationship got started. Over 2 years ago now, and we've been working with them throughout, and it's been great. They've been just a natural fit for us, and you know, we work together really, really well.
Yeah, I would, you know, I'm not going to rehash everything Chris said, but Grounded started as a community-driven kind of game.
Yeah, I
It was
want to get into that.
community-driven
Yeah.
development, and this was a natural extension of that. Of hey, we want to do more, we want to push further. We're also making a lot of games at Obsidian internally. How can we do that? Well, let's find a partner that shares these values, that has this pedigree, and I don't like. It was a little bit of us searching for it, but they were just the perfect match because they were already part of the Grounded community as well. They just happened to be professional game developers, and it just kind of was a nice, you know, I always romanticize some of these stories, but like just a nice extension of that evolution of community-driven development and collaborative development, and it's been a really special partnership.
That's fantastic. I want to circle back to community because I think that is the core element of everything that you've been doing. But for people that are watching this going, well, what is Grounded 2? What is this all about?
Is this on his own channel?
Can you
It
talk
is,
about
okay.
where is the story picking up in Grounded 2? And you also mentioned there is a new park. So kind of talk about that too.
Chris,
I didn't know if Paris was doing this for one of the other outlets because he probably only has 2 microphones, hence why he's obviously passing it. There is no production. He probably set up a camera and he's just doing his thing.
you describe this way better than me in all of the interviews we do, so I'm gonna give it back to you. Do way better. Do way better.
Well, so first off, the story in Grounded 1, just to give a little backstory, it's not necessary that you played the game or that you know the story, but in Grounded 1, some teenagers are shrunken by Ominent, this evil corporation, down to just the size of ants. They're sort of miraculously sort of saved by somebody putting them into this backyard to at least have a chance to survive on their own. And over the course of the game, they eventually, if you completed the game, you wind up embiggening yourself back to normal size so that you're able to go home. And so in Grounded 2, we're picking up the story. It's about 2 years later. So the kids are a little bit older. They've matured a little bit. And but it's the same 4 teens that we knew from Grounded 1. And a little bit older, but
I think it would have been cool again, just a 2 cents. I think it would have been cool if they had like 2 other friends or something that were with them, and then they get shrunken down so you have more people to pick from.
Same sort of quirks, same like great personality.
That way you have 2 people that don't know what the hell's going on, like in the story, where the other 4, they're like, we've already been here before.
Just a really enjoyable bunch of teenagers. And I won't get into the story too much, but again, through a bunch of sort of crazy events that happen at the beginning of the game, and based on
He's 71 years old.
things that will be revealed over the course of early access as part of the story, get embroiled in all of this again. And but this time, before it was in a scientist, Dr. Tully's backyard. This time they're in the Brook Hollow Park. Brook Hollow is the city where they all live, and it's just the central park in the middle of downtown. And they get shrunken there, and they're going to have the same sorts of challenges, but with lots of new and different twists and turns.
Why is there an echo all of a sudden? I wonder if Paris put 2 tracks to try to make him a little bit louder. And then, I don't know.
Creatures, all kinds.
Or maybe he hit a button on the back of the microphone.
Kinds of new obstacles
Let me
and
tell you,
hurdles that they'll
all
be
those
going
creatures
over.
are trying to kill you. All of them. But go ahead.
Almost all of them.
Yeah.
There's some nice ones. Is sometimes just mean teenagers kill them. But yes, almost all of them are going to try and kill you in a hopefully challenging but fun experience in the backyard.
And it absolutely is. So,
Yeah, if you blinked, all turn, you missed the Battlefield thing.
community. Again, Grounded 1 was literally founded off of community and suggestions like, I believe, the buggies that are in.
I don't think Paris has a sound guy, Sarge. I think Paris is doing this on his own. I think he's like a one-man guy. So that's why he probably just has the camera set up recording, and then he's got the interview going on, so there's no one monitoring the audio.
Grounded 2 now was a suggestion from the community.
Absolutely.
that
Buggy
you're
is
able to
basically
put-
the longest standing ask for
Yeah.
the community. Yeah.
So, you talked about early access. This is in game preview. Why was that important to do it again for Grounded 2? Because you've obviously gotten a lot of lessons learned from Grounded 1. Why not just jump straight into 1.0 for Grounded 2? Or is it that you want the community to be involved with this process of leading up to 1.0?
Yeah, I'll give you the microphone in just a second, Marcus. But I just want to say that the really funny thing is I don't think, at least for me personally, ever really considered it not being a sort of a early access game preview title. Like, the community has been so important and integral to developing Grounded that it just always felt natural that we would do that again. And even when we first started talking about some of the big features like buggies, it was like, okay, how do we base our development roadmap off of this like super important feature being ready enough for the community to start testing it? And how do we build our actual development?
So basically they are just, it's on Game Pass, early preview program. You can pay, what, $20, $30 for this thing? And it's going to be testing for the next 2 years.
A schedule like around that. Because it was just sort of natural for us to sort of be thinking about that from the very, very beginning.
And what I mean by that, if you're on Game Pass, you get to play it. But if you're not on Game Pass, you can purchase it to play it.
Because, yeah,
But it's going to be in early access.
like the Ground community is awesome. And why not have
Yeah, Sarge. Hulk Hogan died. Cardiac arrest.
them involved the whole time?
A very basic way of like, well, why did we do it for Grounded 2 was the results of Grounded 1. Like where we started at for Grounded 1 to where we got to by Grounded 1 1.0, it was leaps and bounds. And a good chunk of that is the hard work that the team puts in. But the other good chunk of that was developing alongside the community. It helps hold us accountable. It helps get us new creative ideas. It helps inspire us. So there was just such a benefit in that arc for the first game that we were like, we have to do it again for the second game. And hopefully people feel like, well, we're the starting point where we're at for Grounded 2. Where could it go? Because that's how.
Okay, real quick, I just want to hear him again because
benefit in that arc for the first game that we were like, we have to do it again for the second game. And hopefully people feel like, well, we're the starting point where we're at for Grounded 2. Where could it go?
Okay, so that's my biggest concern. is Grounded 2 past the starting point of where Grounded 1 ended? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, if I have to go 10 steps back and then bring it back up to where Grounded 1 ended, that's dumb. But if you start Grounded 2 above where Grounded 1 was, then fine.
Because that's how we think about it, is like, where can it end up at the end of it? I also just think it's, as Chris said, we're approaching it this time too with even more intentionality around how we're leveraging and how we're working with the community, right? So, like Chris talked about for our buggies, you know, when we were first talking, we were like, do we need to try to jam a bunch of buggies into the very first early access? Because it was asked, like, how many buggies we put in? And we took a step back and we're like, let's not put in every single buggy from day one, because this is a community feature. Like, this is one that needs to evolve and adapt based off of community feedback. And if we anchor ourselves too far down this path, it's going to be harder to adjust as we go forward. So let's lean in on that. And I believe that buggies will be significantly
it comes out next week
because of it, because we kind of lean into that fact. So, you know, maybe a little bit of simplicity of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But it's also just an enjoyable way to make games with the community and with the fans, and the game benefits from it greatly.
But you made the point that the story and things will unfold throughout the early access. So part of that is you will be continuing to build out this world of Grounded 2 during this game preview.
Absolutely. And one thing just to be super clear about story is, you know, in Grounded 1, one of our learnings was...
Hold on, did he just...
The story and things will unfold throughout the early access. So part of that is you will be continuing to build out this world of Grounded 2 during this game preview.
Absolutely. And one thing just to be super clear about story is, you know, in Grounded 1, one of our learnings was we didn't have a ton of story out the gate in early access, and we delivered most of that at 1.0. And people wanted more out of it. I mean, it's Obsidian. People kind of like expect that from us. So for this one, much bigger on the story out the gate. We have a full...
Much bigger story out of the gate, but still not a complete story.
Full kind of act one of the story for you to play through. And throughout early access, what we'll do is a lot of little world building tips.
Do you know why I think they do this? 100%. Kind of goes into my video yesterday talking about what Microsoft is doing with Game Pass and why they're using it. It's not just, they're using it as a Trojan horse. Because if you're playing Grounded, and let's say you fall in love with Grounded, you're playing Grounded and you're constantly playing Grounded, and that's the only game you're playing. You didn't pay for it, right? You're paying a membership to pay for it. Now, you can buy it and play it, okay, but it's early access. And they make it early access, and they're going to be fixing it over the next 2 years, 3 years to get to the final product. And those people are going to come back and play Grounded, right? They're going to play Grounded 2, and they're just going to keep playing. They keep you on Game Pass. They keep you on that cycle of going on. So every time they have an update, hey, come back. So instead of canceling your membership, you're like, hey, I'm gonna, you know, every month they're updating it, so I'm gonna continue playing it. It's made that way on purpose to keep you in that cycle. And if you don't want to be in that cycle where they get that $15, $20 from you, then yeah, you could just pay for it, but they're getting full price of that from you.
Bits, maybe some secret Easter eggs here and there, and then we'll deliver a good chunk of the story at 1.0 as well. But what I kind of like in that moment is the little cat and mouse that we'll play with the community of what.
The only reason I'm going to defend Paris here with the audio, I guarantee you, he's by himself. There is no crew. He set the camera up by himself. Probably not the most proficient in audio. Okay, he knows that you buy these microphones and whatnot. They probably touched a button on the thing, and that's why there's an echo thing going on, because of the channels, 1 or 2. Okay, and that's why you're hearing an echo. I think he changed the second thing on the mic that they're using to channel 1, which is the same channel that he's using. And this is why all of a sudden you hear double audio, because you can hear it there and you can also hear it coming through him, and that's why it sounds delayed.
What theories do y'all have? Like, can we trick you by putting something random in the game, so in case you're getting too close to the trail? So that'll be kind of a fun experience to play through. That like is different and unique that you can do in early access or game preview that you can't do if you just kind of put it all out there, right?
Now, will the park expand?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm going to hand this back to you. The park is kind of the first roughly third of the park.
Well, the microphone should automatically be that way, Titan. I'm assuming, I don't own those, but I'm assuming they have channel 1 and channel 2. That way you can have multiple people or whatnot, and they might have switched to channel 1, the same channel that Paris is on, and that's why I think the audio is doing what it's doing.
For early access, and
The microphones are going to pick up everything anyway, hence why he's got the little dead cats on there. That's what they're called, right? The little fuzzies, to kind of minimize that as much as possible.
we plan to expand it much further with major updates. Really similar. Like there's some things, like I said before, that worked really well with Grounded 1. Very similar in terms of trying to expand the area, and it'll be much bigger than it is to start.
Yeah, not a lot to add to that outside of saying one of the things we really wanted to do.
Yeah, that's what they call them. They call them dead cat.
With this version of early access was to essentially establish a baseline for the rest of the park too. Like make sure that we had a really great starting area that has all of the sort of resources you need, a really great cast of creatures to fight against, some of the initial like NPCs that we wanted available in the game. And that gives us that foundation to continue to build the park and make it bigger. And as we start adding more things onto the park,
What, you guys don't like audio where you're talking like this, and I have the microphone like super far away, and you guys can't hear what I'm saying?
them a little bit more experimental and a little bit more sort of outside of the norm of what you may have already seen in Grounded 1.
Now, the best part of Grounded 1 is playing with your friends. I have not been able to do that yet in Grounded 2, playing early by myself. Otherwise, it's been so brutal. So co-op will obviously be in Grounded 2. I guess the question I'm looking for to understand, as I'm building out my world, even in early access, I'm going to be able to invite my friends to my world. That world will, whatever happens in that world is static to that world, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously I can go to another friend's world. His could be completely different as far as the events that happen in there, etc. So that's how it'll play out in Grounded 2?
Yeah, so the way that our...
It doesn't help Eclipse that his microphone that Chris is holding here is that far away from us fucking, because this is why you clip it to your shirt, because your vocal cords are right here, and that's why, like, when you have a lav mic, you put it here because it can pick up the audio. You don't need to put it like here. You don't need to put it in front of your face, right? If I talk to you like this microphone, okay, is different than what those microphones are, right? Because the microphone's not up on the top here. The microphone's over here, right? Everyone thinks like the microphone, the whole microphone is, no, there's only certain spots. In Lavaliers, it's the top. It's the top. Hence, that's supposed to be below your face, but also not 10 feet away from your mouth.
Shared world system works is essentially you can save your own game, you can invite your friends into it, and that becomes a shared persistent world that as long as you've invited your friends to participate in that, they can essentially load up that shared world save, play it on their own, advance some stuff, maybe build another base or collect some resources or whatever may have you. And then when you come back to what may have been originally just your game, all of those things will have been saved persistently for you, which makes for a nice way to share things. You know, it's real hard, at least it's hard for me to always get, you know, three friends together and actually play all at the same time. And maybe you can like squeeze an hour out of the middle where you're going to do it, but I want to start 2 hours earlier. I want to start half an hour later. And it makes it a real nice way to share the world and be able to have some persistence there, but in a really simple way.
The other thing I just want to say is, you know, you mentioned yourself having some trouble. The nice part about the introduction of buggies is you're not purely alone this time around, right?
Yeah.
So having buggies, even if you are playing solo,
Can they fight?
It does kind of help make sure, like,
can my aunt fight with
some
me?
of that, if you take the time to go hatch a couple buggies, now you got a crew. You don't always need.
Oh, you can. So they can fight for you then.
Need another person there. And the other thing that's kind of funny though is when you do add all those buggies and you do invite your friends to eventually play, that's when the chaos and fun factor really start to come in, because
No, their mic is on. They just don't have it close enough.
it can get, you know, the difficulty scales with more people. And when your buggies go down and you're freaking out about your buggies being down, you're like, save my buggy. That's when the fun really comes. Or depending on how you enjoy a game, the fun or the chaos really comes in. So, but remember, spend the time getting the buggies. That'll help you out, even if you're playing solo.
No, of course. And I keep saying brutal, but I want to be clear that it is a fun brutal.
Yeah.
Because I guess we haven't even really talked about it. We can end on this. This is a survival game. And for people that are jumping into Grounded for the first time with Grounded 2, kind of talk about that gameplay aspect of survival.
I like how they aged the kids up 2 years. It's a small detail, but it's still cool.
In this world.
Yeah, I mean, it is tried and true to most survival experiences. You're going to go out, you're going to chop down grass blades, you're going to build bases, but hopefully it's a little bit, this is why the buggy complement, to us, it wasn't just about putting a bug that you can just ride on. It was like, how do we integrate every aspect of the survival experience? And especially with the Red Soldier amp, it helps expedite building so much more. It's like you can carry more grass planks, you can build on top of your buggy, you can move faster across the world, you have more carrying capacity. So all of that kind of
We're playing this next week,
a
Sarge.
little bit easier. Again, if
Comes
you
out the
spend the time to
29th.
go get a buggy. So all of those elements are still there to in terms of Grounded 1 survival loop. And we've had some twists and turns with it. Things like the introduction of the Omni tool to help kind of the onboarding be kind of maybe a little bit expedited, a little bit more convenient. But the survival loop that you had from Grounded 1 will more or less stay the same.
Yeah, I'll just add.
Chris,
there
just
are
get
the
back the
sort of
microphone. You're not even
classic
using it anyway.
survival mechanics, right? You're going to need to learn where am I going to get my food from? What am I going to be drinking? Where am I going to sleep at night? All of these sorts of things. A very classic survival game, and all of those have been maintained from Grounded 1 to Grounded 2. I think in a lot of ways we've tried to make them more streamlined, faster, maybe a little bit easier. But yeah, you're going to head out into the
I love the fact that he's moving the hand with the microphone more than he's moving the other hand that's not holding the microphone.
world, and you're probably going to find some insects that are basically really going to kick your butt. And until you can level up your gear and get better armor and just get better at the game loop, those are going to be challenging.
I'm just having fun now with the video. Watch, what's his name? Marcus. I think it's Marcus, right? Watch Marcus's eyes now, right? He zones out. Or watch this.
Basically,
He's looking at the microphone right here. He's looking at the microphone. Zones out for a little bit.
But and until you can.
Right. Then he looks at him. He looks at the camera. He quickly looked at the camera. Gave it a little glance. Like, this guy ain't using the goddamn microphone. He's apologizing right there. Like, this face right here. He's apologizing that his coworker doesn't know how to use a microphone. Okay. And he's like, oh shit.
Get better armor.
Then he looked back at the microphone. And then
And just get better at the game loop.
he's squinting like, yeah, he probably should be using the microphone.
Those are going to be challenging.
And then he looks at him directly like, yeah. Looks back at the microphone like saying, you're gonna use the microphone? You're gonna speak into the microphone?
Interesting adventures for
He's
players.
like, oh, for fuck's sake. Yep, there's the microphone again. Still not using it.
And I think that's where the survival is
Yep,
really fun.
face
for
is
me,
here,
because
mic's
it's
there.
sandbox. You don't always know what's around the next corner or exactly what you're going to need to be successful. And
He's like,
and that's what
looks like he wanted to grab it there for a second. I thought he was gonna grab it. I thought he was gonna push his hand.
or exactly what you're going to need to be successful. And that's what makes it fun is you've got to try and guess what you're going to need for the next thing and be prepared for whatever that challenge might be.
He's like, let me grab that microphone from him. Look,
Guess what you're going to need
right
for
here.
the next thing and
He's like,
be prepared for whatever that challenge
yeah, I'm gonna grab that from you. I'm just gonna grab that from you.
might be.
I do have a question separately. Is this supposed to be green and not red?
No, we're good.
Okay, cool.
Good.
I knew he was looking at the fucking microphone. He was looking at the microphone. He looked at the camera. He's like, something ain't right. He's like, is this all right? Paris like, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, no. No, it's not fine. Monitor your audio. Monitor your audio. You see that right there? You see that? I know when my microphone
I was nervous that the mic wasn't picking up, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. I like saw red, and red usually means off. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No. We're totally fine.
No, you're all right. The microphone's on. It's the wrong channel.
I'm gonna leave all that in.
Please do. Please do. 'Cause
But the one question, no, you're talking about research.
Paris got home. He went to go edit this and went, the microphone was bad.
Sources and all that. It's hilarious. Like, I've been able to play it for a week so far, right? And, I've known a few other people that are playing it. The number one text that I've got from people that are also playing it, where are grass seeds?
You know what? I've gotten this question too, like from people, and then I answered it in a couple of them. So all right, if you look up, there's grass blades in the like. Maybe we should just solve this for everyone in the audience. The grass seeds are on grass blades that have seeds on the top, and all you have to do is kind of like look up at the top of them. And they're right outside, like pretty early on in the game, so they're there and prevalent. But this is a funny thing, and this is the beauty of early access, and this is the vulnerability we will share. Is like clearly we need to signal that a little better because it's a number one question.
People are freaking out about grass seeds. They're like, this game's unrealistic. I shrunk down. I'm riding an ant. But where's the grass seeds at?
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. The other thing that's interesting about this is that there were grass seeds in Grounded 1. They just didn't do anything. They were just like kind of a waste of space that didn't really do anything. And when you cut down a piece of grass that has them, a whole bunch of them fall down, but usually only one or two actually persist.
Yeah.
And so I think that like, again, community and seeing what people say about things, I think that just doesn't register with people, because if 6 of them hit the ground and 5 of them disappear, maybe they just don't notice that one is left over and that's the one they need to pick up. But yeah, you should be able to harvest like 20 of them, like right outside the first ranger stations. For us, it's just like, like we screwed up somewhere in here and we need to figure out
But
how
see,
to do
I
this.
purposely brought that up because, like I said, I've had a few people text me, and I think I just got lucky because, like you said, I looked up and I remember I tried. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm good, and I progressed along, and I'm like, what do you mean you're having problems? You just chop it down, and they're like, I'm not seeing any seeds. I'm like,
we appreciate the community even more so because they help their friends continue playing the game. If maybe we can make some tweaks to it. So,
well, gentlemen, thank you so much for taking a few minutes to talk to me about Grounded 2. Like I said, I keep saying brutal, but I'm loving it. I can't wait till I can jump in and play with a bunch of my friends. And early access starts when? What date?
Tuesday, July 29th. So we're excited for everyone to jump in to early access and game preview. The other thing I just want to say thank you. Like, honestly, this is, I know, you cover a lot of stuff. This is kind of your job, but still, this is so meaningful to us to be able to have your expertise to reach out to the fans, take the time to play the game. There's a lot of games that you could be playing, so thank you so much for taking the time.
No, of course. Like I said, being at that community watch party and seeing the genuine excitement that people had, where this came out of nowhere,
it's a good game.
Says it all.
It's a fun game.
I mean, you've done a fantastic job with Grounded 1, and Grounded 2 already is shaping up to be even better.
So, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Invest in audio. Monitor your audio, because that's going to kill you. All right, let's see what's happening on Twitter. Yeah, nothing there. The trailer. People texting me the trailer. Nothing's happening with the Battlefield 6 trailer. Here's a video. Insider Gamer, Gaming Weekly returning live on YouTube. Battlefield 6, EA's last chance. It's not its last chance. It's just it's not going to be a very good chance. Yeah, I'm shocked about Hulk Hogan. Those of you that don't know, I worked on Hogan Knows Best show back in the early 2000s, 2006, 2007. I did 3 seasons with the Hogan Knows Best show. So hearing Hulk Hogan died, that's crazy, man. I literally just saw, not personally, but I watched a podcast with him just recently, and he didn't look like he was in rough shape at any while. I mean, I obviously I met him like almost 20 years ago, and he was in pain then, just because of what he did. But I mean, obviously, look, he's a specimen, still in shape at 71, and to hear that he passed, man, I guess when it's your time, it's your time. So it's a little sad. Hit me a little more than I thought I would, not just because of a fan of Hulk Hogan, but working on the actual show and getting to talk to the guy and meet the guy and hang out with basically him for 2.5, 3 years. So it's kind of crazy. So my thoughts go out to him and his family. Yeah, sucks. All right, well, that's a bummer. That's a bummer. We're going to leave it there because it's 12:30. I just watched the podcast with Malcolm Jamal Warner, and he passed. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy that you're here one day and you're not the next. And it's not from anything but when your time is it's up. Someone said to me when we were on set, actually, on doing Hogan Knows Best, we had a conversation, me and this other camera guy, and his dad was a tester of like products. So they would just like flick on a switch, turn off a switch, flick on a switch. Like he, not personally, but you know what I mean? Like he worked for a company that tested stuff and would find out what the lifespan of it is, right? So he would test light switches and light bulbs and all this other stuff, and he would tell me stories. He's like, yeah, my dad does that type of stuff. He's like, and everything has a life. Everything. So every time you click the A key on your keyboard or flick the light switch on or sit in your car and the spring hits, right? Like, it's crazy, right? It's crazy to think. And then that's how they come up with the price point. That's how they come up with how long is it going to last for. And they just test that stuff. And you never know, because a light switch might break after 2 clicks. Or you might have a light switch in your house for 40 fucking years, right? And that is just crazy, right? Because someone that runs every single day, exercises, eats right, does all the things, and they're dead at 50. Where someone else is drinking alcohol, smoking cigarettes, they live until 92, right? So to say that this is good for you and this is bad for you, nobody knows shit. When it's your time, it's your time. At least that's the way I feel. You guys have a great rest of your day. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. We'll be back tonight for the podcast, Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories from the past week, and we rant along the way. Appreciate it very much. Don't forget to check out the Perk Up Press Play album if you guys want to help support the channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Sunshine, rise and shine. The daily grind is here on time with gaming news and fun galore. We'll chat and entertain once more. The coffee's hot, the mic is on. Jump in the chat, let's have some fun. From pixel small to stories grand, we bring the magic to your hand. We're nitty, tune in daily, don't you miss entertainment wrapped in bliss. From new releases, tips and tricks, the daily grind, your morning fix. Controller ready, headset too, we've got the updates just for you. From late night streams to morning plays, we cover gaming always. Controller ready, headset too, we've got the updates just for you. From late night streams to morning plays, we cover gaming always. Laughs and news, our winning blend, the show with you, our dearest friend. Comments rolling, chats alive, the daily grind, 5-star vibe. Tune in daily, don't you miss entertainment wrapped in bliss. From new releases, tips and tricks, the daily grind, your morning fix. sunshine, rise and shine. The daily grind is here on time with gaming news and fun below. We'll chat and entertain